Taste of civilized people. Hear ye, hear ye. Yeah. I hear ye. Hear ye. Come ye. Come hither. People do not have all day to work. Watch us here. The chalice has been returned. Oh, well, lowercase ye, where's big ye?
He's in prison.
Perhaps the Civil Life Cup was not always meant to be. Well, okay, well, here, lowercase ye. The clock now strikes 8 for this little brewery that could. We welcome today to the Civil Life foreign dignitaries, heads of state, and the stupendous Dylan Mosley. Known worldwide as Civil Life head beer magician. Days like today can only happen on days I am not under house arrest, held captive by my sweet daughter's smile, and my lovely wife who still supports me every day, no matter how hard it is to run a small business. I love you. Thank you. I love each and every one of you too. A heartfelt thanks to our fine staff who worked so hard to make this day fun for all of you, and all of us who believe and understand that we are stronger when we drink together. On a shared mission to keep and hold true to the civil life. We all must do our best to spread civility wherever we go, and no matter how hard it is. It definitely isn't easy at times, but it's worth it. Be civil, we say. Be civil. I told Carrie and Carrie a few days ago that if it wasn't for them, I probably would have given up this silly speech years ago, and this anniversary party would be no more than a couple of cupcakes, $10 worth of bottle rockets, and a few rented goats. and of course, the finest in civil life beer. On a sad note, I also feel compelled to mark the passing of our friend John Chance this past January. John was a prolific reader that sat at the west end of the bar, always drinking half pints. He would join in conversations from time to time in the most pleasant of ways. He enjoyed the company of several regulars and our staff, but would always return to the comforts of his books. This year, the Civil Life Book Club, led by Dr. Patrick Hurley, has been reading John's favorite book. We bid farewell, thy friend. We all know, without a doubt, that today, as in years past, you would put down your book to listen to this here speech and smile. When I look around the crowd gathered here today, I see a few people from last year's crowd that complained about the length of the speech. But they've unknowingly showed up for a much longer speech. Don't worry, you all will be home for dinner tomorrow. Our brewery's success lies in all of you, our wonderful customers that constantly support us, and even more so in all the great people that have chosen to work here. When you spend your hard-earned money on genuine Civil Life beer, please know that every single dollar left over after providing for our dinosaurs goes to provide living wages and full benefits to our great employees. can afford to do this, and your support is essential to this mission. For those of you not interested in supporting our endeavors at Jake's Dinosaur Park, please know all tips go straight to the employees, who then use their extra money to buy beer for the dinosaur. Since Jake's Dinosaur Park opened, the Civil Life has had its best 3 consecutive months ever. And we reversed the course of decreasing sales that has plagued this business for the last 3 years. The Civil Life is in one of the most competitive industries you can find, but we're still doing all right. And if all goes well, I repeat, if you will keep drinking Civil Life beer, keep drinking Civil Life beer, you are getting very drinky, very drinky. You are now on a beach in a faraway place, eating bonbons and drinking Civil Life. You have just won the Nobel Prize for beer consumption, and are going to begin solving the world's toughest problems. Wow, hypnotizing everyone was easier than I thought. Please listen, I wrote this poem for you. The Civil Life is the place for me. There's no place I'd rather be. But alas, I can't always be here. On a rare occasion, I find myself nowhere near. I'll still search every pub, restaurant, and store because, yes, I seem to need more. Oh, and when I am home, yes, when I am home, I'll never want to bolt because home is a place on hold. This past year has been an interesting one for this old Civil Life. If you recall, and some of you do, the expansions announced in 2016, 2017, and 2018. Wait a minute! Don't forget, you are all currently under my hypnotized spell, and you are very drinky, very drinky. You will remain under the spell for 5 years or 20,000 years, whichever comes first. Please forget everything you heard about a Civil Life expansion. Please forget that our city didn't fully support us. I try to forget that every day. Please forget that 2,000 feet from where you sit today, you can find 3 vacant warehouses over 20,000 square feet, 3 boarded up buildings, 3 vacant properties, 1 for lease building, 2 buildings for sale, and God knows if I didn't pick up the trash 2 times a week with my friend Margaret, we'd be up to our ears in Quick Trip trash. The city has been trying to forget about this part of Tower Go South for many years. But guess what, City of St. Louis? You may have given up on these streets, but the Civil Life hasn't. I owe so much to the good people that live in the southernmost part of Tower Go South that so kindly let us open the Civil Life here. It is they who have cheered the Dinosaur Park, and it is they who have rallied behind this business when antiquated government systems, rooted in politics rather than data, have gotten in the way. Let the record show that this business didn't ask too much, that this business only asked to be treated the same as friendly competitors of ours in other wards. A stone throw from here on the other side of Chippewa, and we would still be on the path to expansion. When I withdrew my application, I ended by asking only one thing of the city, and that is to fix the lake that often resides in our alley. It is rare the lake isn't here today, entirely because it hasn't rained for like 3 weeks. For the years the city of St. Louis has known about this lake, I have informed the city on many occasions, as have my neighbors. The lake is documented in Google Maps in the years 2011 and 2016. It can be seen on satellite images from outer space. Now I may be some famous hypnotist, but I am no magician. Ladies and gentlemen, until the day the city of St. Louis finally fixes our alley after years of complaints, we all need to demand that each and every neighbor on these streets gets city-provided fishing poles in the summer, ice skates in the winter, and at least one annual showing of Disney on Ice. For the kids. Now, I'd like to change subject to another issue I have with our fair city. Since my daughter started daycare at Southside Childhood Development, 5 times a week I drive the streets of Tower Go South and Tower Go East. One morning as the sun peeked over the trees as my lovely daughter drove me to her daycare, I noticed a rather large disparity in between heights of stop signs in these parts of the city, so much so that I now keep a log of intersections where the disparity is most noticeable. I have many theories on the reason for disparities, but the one that is most plausible is that our street department has a wide range of employees of varying height. This past summer, the intersection of Oak Hill and Arsenal hit my list when they installed a stop sign that is just a little over 2 feet higher than a fire hydrant next to it. I met a street department employee one day whose height came up to my shoulder. No doubt it was Matthew working that day. You can all imagine my shock when our beloved stop sign right here at the corner of Holton Beck was hit and run by a truck driver on the 29th of the 3rd day of this month. Oh, the 29th of the 3rd month of this year. Well, I shed a few tears that day for that average height stop sign, and also immediately reported it to the Citizen Service Bureau. A short, foldable traffic stop sign soon arrived and was put in place, and there it stayed. Months went by. Literally 4 months went by. It blew over so many times that I lost weight going back and forth to pick it up. Luckily, CSB is #1 on the streets reporter, New York Times reader, and civil life regular Sarah Truckee had enough one Sunday afternoon and reported the sign as well. A week or thereabouts later, it was fixed. Now listen, I'm not smart enough to know when I'm being trolled. I just want to thank the street department for resurrecting Manute Bowl to install the tallest stop sign in Tower Grove South, in Tower Grove East, and in Shaw. In fact, it is 100% impossible to get the stop sign any taller, as that stop sign is not even anchored in the ground. It practically magically floats above the ground, tethered by a mere 3 inches of concrete. Well played, street departments. Well played. It is now time to relay a story about one of our dear regulars, who we love 86.4% of the time. Michael Bear has long drank here, but for many years before finding the civil life, he consumed a variety of beverages at some of the poshest places around town. He would frequent well-to-do places in places like Clayton and the Central West End. He was living paycheck to paycheck, had to borrow money from his mom for rent, and once was found eating skunks in back alleys to save money to spend at his local watering hole. One day in 2002, Michael found the civil life and began drinking the same amount of fine, genuine beverages, but at a pub price he could afford. Today, I am proud to say he no longer eats skunks. He doesn't even have to look for change in his couch anymore to buy rations, and he is a proud homeowner just 1 block from here. He now wears on his head the last skunk he ate to remind him of expensive times when he wasn't drinking here. Skunks no more for you, Michael. You eat civil life sandwiches now. I am proud of you, Michael, for the progress you've made toward financial independence. Are you feeding the dinosaurs enough beer, Michael? I'd like to turn your attention now to our new neighbors to the north. Jake's Dinosaur Park is the first new business in our immediate area in over 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the only dinosaur park in the nation with real live dinosaurs. They move quite frequently throughout the week. The ones behind me are peaceful as long as the civil life beer is flowing. Neighbors and passers-by have noted to me that they have seen them playing hide-and-seek, and often a friendly game of duck-duck dinosaur. Late last week, a neighbor said the ghost of Fred Flintstone could be seen out there riding dinosaurs late into the night. You may be laughing, but if you drink enough civil life beer, you too can see the ghost of Fred Flintstone. People from faraway places like St. Charles and O'Fallon come to this park to see our dinosaurs, and when they do, they often spend a few dollars at the old civil life. But ladies and gentlemen, I need your help. Jake's Dinosaur Park is not financially stable. And I'm not sure how much longer we will be able to afford to operate Jake's Dinosaur Park. Please, listen to me. This is our first call to action for the following year. The grass definitely isn't greener over there. The place is pretty much all rock. And thanks for nothing to whomever taught these dinosaurs how to yelp. Now I must inform inform you that something mysterious happened this past week when 3 eggs showed up at Jake's Dinosaur Park. Just for the record, I am not responsible for the arrival of these eggs. I am no paleontologist, but I am playing one today. I am qualified enough to let you know these are fake. These are fake eggs. After a futile search of our security cameras, I can let you know that the pupperator is still at large. And most certainly a civilized beer-drinking mortal who is probably in this crowd today among us. The markings on 2 of these eggs were meant, no doubt, to be children of our 2 love dinos. And the perpetrator went to great lengths to cover up one of these eggs in some sort of... dinosaur poop! Nice try, civilized mortal. Nice try. Jake's Dinosaur Park doesn't need fake dinosaur eggs to make it. All it really needs is a couple $1 million to stay in our operation and tons of beer for the dinosaurs. Fake dinosaur eggs aren't going to get us through the next few crucial years. The support of all of you beer drinkers is all we need. We don't need these fake eggs at Jake's Dinosaur Park. We don't need these fake eggs at Jake's Dinosaur Park. All they do is scare the real dinosaurs. My friends, my comrades in consumption, the cost of safely managing our 3 dinosaurs. There's something this business is struggling to do. Please, I beg of you, portions of every sale of civilized beer, every sale of our tasty sandwiches, and every sale of our t-shirts and sweatshirts go to maintaining our dinosaur park. It's really expensive running this park. Over 1,000 years ago, our dinosaurs spent a bit of time in China and got a taste for terracotta. So we spent the last 3 months shipping in terracotta soldiers. Dinosaurs don't really want to eat statues of people, and certainly not real people. They said people taste like chicken, but without the feathers. Dinosaurs really just want to drink the sweet taste of civilized beer.
Civilized beer!
The problem is they drink a keg an hour. It's expensive. We can't afford to go on like this. We don't have big automatic machines here. We can't just make beer buttons. We're just a small independent brewery. I'm pleading with you. The dinos are a lot of work and cost a lot of money. Down these eggs! Please, no. When you spend your money here at this old pub, know that your money is put to good Please, no! Please spend your money here at this pub. Know that your money is put to good use taking care of our staff and most importantly, taking care of the 5 dinosaurs. I'm not sure I can afford this. Dear sweet baby Jeebus. Michael Bear, come here. Take this egg again. Don't break it. Don't break it. We can't afford it. Michael! Are you kidding me? A trap? There goes my theory on that brown egg. I'm exhausted. I've I've got so much to learn. Running a dinosaur walk in a brewery is the hardest thing I've ever done. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in an absurd world. But we all keep pushing that barrel up a hill. We all keep carrying our rocks. The story of Sisyphus is not only our little brewery story, it's our city's story, and it's our story as we trudge through each day of our lives. It is the story of perseverance and pushing a rock or barrel, and in the process, thumbing our nose at the small business gods. It's fulfilling because the view from the top is better than the view from the bottom. It's challenging because it never ends. The challenge to overcome and get back to the top is a true driving force for this little company, and it needs to be here for our city as well. The civil life, no doubt, will continue to push barrels up that mountain no matter how many odds are stacked against us. The craft beer market is the most competitive it has ever been, but I am certain, without a doubt, that the civil life will survive. We as a company will remain steadfastly committed to the finest of genuine ales and lagers, and steadfastly committed to this part of Tower Grove South. Neighbors depend on us to do better. My employees depend on us depend on me to lead us through this. And honestly, despite the bottom of the hill I saw in June, I am no doubt prepared and ready to push forward to the top, only to begin again. In years past, this speech has had a political bent to it. I have poked fun at liberals and conservatives, and last year had some fun with Bartle Kavanaugh and his I like beer diatribe. Don't get me wrong, I like beer too. I really like beer. That's why Dylan, Mike, and I opened this brewery. Hold on. Serious face now. But honestly, as of late, politics aren't fun anymore. Did you know that the U.S. Capitol building had a bar up until the 1850s? Look around today at the senators and congressmen and women from both parties, and they can't even stand to be in the same room with each other. The last time Moscow Mitch and crying Chuck Schumer were in the same room, it resulted in not one, but 2 atomic wedgies. And this past week, a young lady, Greta Thunberg, or as I like to respectfully call her, the Great Thunberg, caught all of our attention. I'll tell you from the last 4 years in this business that I agree with her that money and eternal economic growth are fairy tales. Yeah. I agree with her, too, that we are robbing her of her childhood. The day she spoke to the UN, I showed the video to my daughter, who's 2.5. My daughter looked at the anguish on Greta's face and said, "Daddy, this girl is mean." Really young kids like her are still determining how to turn words or emotions into words. I said, "Sabine, this lady was mad at the adults, and she's right to be mad at us. Look what we are doing to the planet." I told my daughter, "I hope you grow up and care about science and use business to make the world a better place, because your generation is going to have to deal with..." And I stopped. A big part of me has given up on the generations ahead of mine, and even in my own generation, to change things. It's absurdly rude to leave anything in a worse shape than when you got there. And worst of all, we are now doing it to people we know. That's why the Great Thunberg is so upset. In 14 years, when Sabine is 16, she's going to be mad as hell too if we waste the next 14 years. The truth is, if Sabine lives to be 80 years, she might see 6 American cities go underwater. New Orleans, Galveston, Texas, Charleston, South Carolina, Virginia Beach, Miami Beach, and Atlantic City, New Jersey. That one can go underwater. Just for the record, every climate report I've ever seen, not one has ever said that their conclusions look better than the previous report. So all of this might be happening faster. I want to tell you something else as well, because this is really personal to me. I've been alive for 45 million years. I've done a lot of things over the years. About 3,000 years ago, I posed for that banner. Also, did you really think I was just making up a manual on raising dinosaurs? I need you to know I'm not writing down theories or fancy ideas or calling up paleontologists with fancy degrees. Just writing down things I know about dinosaur management from my 45 million years on this planet. so my staff can manage them when I can't. Look, I plan to stick around on this planet for at least the next 200 years to see how the civil life turns out. If all of you don't mess it up for my kids and me, and for her kids. It's sad and not true, but all of you are going to die long before the metal dinosaurs and me. I want to tell you something else. You know that dogs playing poker painting? Yeah, guess what? 3,300 years ago, I painted dinosaurs on a cave wall in Egypt playing poker. You should have seen King Tut laugh. You Earthlings think you're so original. I'm not some run-of-the-mill 45 million old slacker. I even got Genghis Khan to laugh once. And had I known about the estimated 40 million people he killed, do you ever wonder what's going to happen when 40 million people are forced out of their country and every country has closed their borders? Here's something else for you science-loving Homo sapiens. Some of you scoff at the idea of me being so old. Well, guess what? I'm not even from here. I'm a Martian. Yeah. Nanu. Yeah, look, this is a shirt from my home planet. It says Camp Chugga Sniff-A-Home. If you look at the perennial table back there, where are you? Yeah, chug one with the perennial table. My parents sent me to camp there for 2 million years. You want to go there? We got to slam a Kolsch with the good people from Perennial. Please keep supporting all of our local breweries. We all appreciate it. Look, everyone, civil life is also to blame, too. We're not doing enough either. We get about 30% of our electric from solar and do our best to recycle, reduce, and reuse. But there are more things we want to do but don't have the money to afford them. I really want to add more solar panels, but we need a new roof. In my last 3,600 years on Earth, I still haven't found the money tree that Moses promised me. We all know China is no longer taking our cheap plastic to recycle. And if I recall correctly, some of it is literally floating around the world looking for a home. Newsflash to everyone, including me. We are 4% of the world's population, but produce 12% of the world's waste. We can do better. And we shouldn't need Great Thunberg to tell us so. Newsflash, my friends, 44% of the cans this brewery produce will end up in a landfill. It's going to take 1 million years to clean up after all you are gone. Once we have expanded our beer gardens and brew facilities complete, we will not have to use plastic at these events anymore. Hopefully we'll get our expansion done before climate change causes our dinosaur park to go underwater, literally and figuratively. But guess what? This is the most interesting thing. There is still time. There is still time. But we have to do something. There is still time. And the great Thunberg is going to hold us accountable. Maybe you think she will dial it in next time. But she won't dial it in. Great Thunberg is going to sail back here whenever she wants and probably twice next Sunday. A little ocean is no challenge for the great Thunberg, and guess what? She is not going to stop. She is the real tough cookie. Everyone, our time here is almost done for today. Please listen, and don't cheer or boo. This week, report came out on another thing that happened. Impeachment hearings for the President of the United States are going to start soon. Now I know what you are thinking, that perhaps this is Jake Hafner's chance to run for national office, and I, as the self-proclaimed head of the National Beer Party, would no doubt bring honesty, along with copious amounts of Civil Life beer, to the White House. But truthfully, since we now have the draft, I just don't have any time. It's too much. 8 years ago, when I started giving the speech, politics was a bit more fun, and not the blood-curdling partisan sideshow it's become. Political tribalism has taken hold in this great country of ours and pitted families, friends, colleagues, and fellow beer-drinking Americans against each other. Always remember, united we stand, divided we fall. If we are this divided when the aliens arrive to take our beer, we'll never be able to defend the small microbreweries in this great country of ours. Who knows where these investigations will lead, but when it was tried with Bill Clinton, it quickly stalled in the Senate. But when we get wherever we're going, we all should be a little worried about what we have become. I hope one thing for this great country of ours, and that simply is that we learn to be civil again. You may be wondering what we accomplished in this speech today. In a few short moments, the 24-hour news cycle will push us into another tragedy of sorts. My friends, walk with the civil life through yet another year, and who knows what we will get. Maybe we'll get that bale to the top of the hill, and maybe we won't. Maybe our city will get back on track, or maybe it won't. Who knows, maybe even our country will give civility a chance. At least we can laugh over a pint or two or three in this pub at the absurdity of it all. This still is a great city, and we all need to believe in it. There's a lot of inequity here, and first and foremost, we need to work on that. There are great parts of the city and parts we all need to come together to improve. We make a lot of ridiculous decisions in this city. We just built a beautiful Ferris wheel, but it's in the lowest part of the city. Half of the ride looks at the roof of the Union Station, their parking lot. We got a trolley. It's losing money and no one rides it. We have one crane downtown. People come to St. Louis and they say, look, we have a crane. You go to Nashville, Columbus, Detroit, Indianapolis, and it looks like a crane showroom. We can do better. I leave you with the most absurd story I haven't told you yet. Not long ago, on a dark day that wasn't stormy, I was on my way to Circle 7 to collect this beautiful cup for winning first place with our American Brown and second place with our Circle 7. Yeah, you got it. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. I imagine Sisyphus chuckled when he heard about it. But this story is really about what I saw on the way there. On a bumper of someone's car, I saw Benito Mussolini's quote that reads, I'd rather live one day as a lion than 100 years as a sheep. I started laughing, because our president also retweeted it this past year, and it seems to be a bit of that old toxic masculinity, that male masculinity that we need to get rid of.
Yeah.
Guess what? Lions often sleep around 20 hours a day, and especially when they eat. So you're telling me you'd rather live 1 4-hour day than 100 years running around like a fluffy pillow? My bet in those 100 years of the fluffy pillow, you get to make friends with other fluffy pillows. My bet at 100 years you have as many friends as are here today. And since you are not a jerk around, running around, biting and roaring, people really like you and they support you through the ups and the downs. And they really, really believe in whatever you want to do or whoever you want to be and don't care about whatever you look like or where you're from. Perhaps if I was one of those sheep, I'd open a brewery for all my sheep friends so we had a place to hang out and laugh about the absurdity of our sheep lives and the constant late night phone calls we get from people counting us. We'd sit around laughing at that dumb lion that lived for 4 hours. It'd be kind of like today, but for 100 years. It'd be like Sisyphus happily climbing that mountain, or me happily pushing a barrel. Hey, Sabine, I got something for you, buddy. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm there was a sheep that lived for 100 years and had tons of friends that looked out for him. And one day that sheep opened that bar and convinced all of his friends to go out and make the world a better, more civil place. You are not just any customers of any business in town. You're Civil Life beer drinking customers. And we collectively are the Civil Life. I'll happily push this barrel with all of you for another 8 years. From the bottom of my heart. The last 3 months I've really needed you and you delivered. Our expansion is guaranteed to be done by May of 2050. It won't look the same, but it will be exactly what we need. I want to bring my parents up here for a moment. Mom and Dad. For this absurd year, committee of me, Jake Hafner, and Jacob Hafner speak to them for the Justine and Pete Memorial, even though they are not dead yet, award. This business wouldn't exist without them and their help. I now present them the cup. And that's true. It wouldn't exist without them. My first business I opened in 2001, and I opened it in 2011. It wouldn't exist without the extra money they let me, and also without Mike and Dylan and the staff here. This place isn't about me. It's about all of us, and the people that work here are really good people. We're trying to do the right thing. On a sad note, running this beach every year has been tough, and with a small family, it's tough to dedicate this much time every year to something so absurd. I know from hearing from many of you that you love the speech, and which makes this last part so hard. I must conclude that I'm sorry to report this will be my last State of the Beer Union address. Until next year! Thank you for being a customer to the light. We love each and every one of you. Thank you for support. Buy civilized beer wherever you go. It means the world to us. We love you. We love you. My parents love you. The bank loves you too. You helped me pay my loan. Thank you. The giraffe loves you. Keep clapping as long as you want. I can stay up here for days.
Yeah.